Hey guys, Cyril Rosberg back at it again for another video. This time I am here with some league racing highlights from RGL Germany. Basically what had happened was on Twitter I had been watching a lot of old AOR and ARL videos from 2013 and 2012 from Material Limitless, Noble 299, Matt, Fizzy, and it really got me back into the mood of, like, I want to league race again. I stated this on Twitter saying that I need to get an Ethernet cable so I can sort my internet out. RGL Racing Gaming League approached me through Twitter DMs and said that they would welcome me if I wanted to join. I accepted the offer, and here I am now. I wasn't actually meant to race for Germany. I was actually practicing for Belgium, just trying to get back up to speed, because that was when my new internet was actually going to come. So yay me. But on the day of Germany, I basically put in the Twitter group chat, like, am I allowed to race? And they said, yeah, sure, why not? So I'm here at Germany with zero practice at all at a track that I haven't done in a couple of months. So let's get into it. Here we are, sat in the garage for Germany, hoping that things will go somewhat well. And although it is now in intermediate conditions, like I had said, I had done no practice for Germany. I haven't actually done a proper league race around Germany probably since CRL Season 3, and that was probably a good wasn't even 4 months, it was, I don't even know, maybe it was like December, January. I think it was December, because that's when we had our break. So, you know, it's looking a bit iffy. As you can see, getting all over the curbs here. I'd actually changed my camera angle as well on that day, because apparently having your camera more zoomed in is quicker. That's what I'd heard on Twitter. So I thought maybe if it's going to make me quicker, maybe it could be beneficial. But you guys might know I usually have my camera quite far back. My camera quite far back, so I can see my helmet and stuff, and I can actually see more from the sides. So this was very new to me. Not only am I in a new league against new drivers, but I've also got a new camera, which probably doesn't make a difference anyway. Going into turn 1 on our first qualifying lap, you know, just completely running wide and completely messing up this first sector. Going into turn 2, VRO Bianchi wins. He wins current pole position at the moment, with a lap time that I can't see. Going through the first sector, I'm pretty sure I'm 2/10 down, so obviously that running wide off the first corner probably lost us about half a second or something. Dominator, many numbers later, goes to the top of the pile at the moment. Everyone just learning the conditions, seeing how hard they can push. RBZ 10-12 now goes to the top. Not really a surprise since he lives on the game. Going through this flat out corner into the Mercedes Stadium section, or the Mercedes Grandstand. Coming around there, very much struggling on the power, half throttle in 4th gear, 5th gear now, upshifting into 6th, and we're going to go into the fast right-hander, into 4th gear, missing the apex, into the stadium section, coming into the quick left-hander now, 3rd gear, 2nd gear, trying to keep the car turned in, half throttle to get on the power, quick shift into 4th, maybe into 5th, just to control the power a little bit more, into 3rd gear just to get the car turned in, up into 4th, keeping it right on the limit of the white lines. Coming across the line, we're going to do a reasonable lap time. I think we're about a second off the pace of RBZ anyway. It wasn't a fantastic lap, although it was my first lap around Germany, and it was in intermediate conditions, so I just did laps, as you can see, doing my 3rd lap on the same set of tyres. I was just doing laps, just trying to get used to the conditions, so that I'm building more and more confidence, not only with these conditions, but with the track and the car, and also getting used to, you know, just braking points and everything like that. As you can see, this is my fastest lap now. Would have cut turn 1, as you probably would have seen. Mines were approved and through turn 2 and 3. On the DRS straight, no DRS activation because it's in the wet. Coming into turn 4, I believe it is. braking at the 150 meter board a little bit earlier maybe than usual. First gear, slight Mario Kart to try and get the car turned in, quick shift from second to fourth, just to help the traction. It's a little bit of a squirm going into 5th gear, but no harm done there. Staying in 7th gear, going into turn, probably 6 I think this is, into turn 7th, 3rd gear, 4th gear, turn 8 I think this might be. I have no idea about the corner names, I am so sorry, or which turns they are. Into turn 9 I probably, 4th gear, hitting the apex quite nicely. As you can see, purple middle sector, so this lap was going pretty well. 3rd sector is where I lose a little bit of time. Into 2nd gear, 3rd gear, maybe 4th gear now. I think we could have taken a bit more speed into that section. 3rd gear, hitting that apex nicely, running out wide, going onto the curb, exit the last corner, pretty decent, across the line, going into 2nd place, 2 tenths behind RBZ, which I was pretty happy with. Obviously, I went out at the end of the session where the best conditions were, with the fresh set of tyres and the lowest amount of fuel. I wasn't on an improvement, but going round this last corner, I was on for a mega final sector until I made that mistake, almost running into the wall. So we were going to be starting in P5. So we were on the racing line, which was a good thing because you want to be on the outside for turn 1. Mainly because it can pinch the guys on the inside to give them a slower line, while they're trying to allow the people on the racing line to go through, well, trying to give people on the racing line more space. As you can see, RBZ 10-12 getting pole position, only just in front of Langman. Dominator, OMG It's Joe, and myself, VRO L Hamilton 44, nice fanboy. As you can see, I was on for a pretty mega last sector until I completely choked. Obviously, see Codfield, VRO Bianchi, Jetson, Buggy, I can't read the rest of the names, I saw Ted down there. But now we're going to be going into the race. And here we are on the grid for the German Grand Prix. I'm going to be honest, I was bricking myself since this was my first proper league race that I had done actual practice for quite a while, and you know, I was a little bit concerned about my internet as well. Dominator, you know, he just fucking disappears because he gets sent back to the grid for making contact with Joe. I think Joe hit him though, but I don't know how Joe didn't get sent back. So pretty much I was absolutely shit myself. I was really tensed up. I was shaking. Well, I wasn't shaking, but I was sweating it just a bit, because a league race can be quite terrifying to go into when I've done no practice. I've got dodgy internet as well. In a league full of just new guys I've never raced with before. I have raced with guys like RBZ and OMG It's Joe before, but really it was just a complete new experience for me. As you can see, we're rounding off the formation lap, coming into the end of the middle of the last sector, not the middle sector, behind RBZ 10-12 with a reasonable lap time, although in the Twitter group chat he said that he'd bottled every lap, or at least most everything on that lap. Well, Langman was like, what? I can't believe that. Codfield going straight through the banana car, because reasons, I don't know. OMG It's Joe maybe was sent back to the grid, I don't know, I didn't see. As we await for everyone to line up on the grid, Buggy deciding to do some burnouts before we start. And now we await those 5 red lights for the German Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go. OMG It's Joe not getting a fantastic start. I should have just pointed out that I am on the super softs and everyone else is on the softs. So that could compromise us. Going into turn 1, we make contact with Joe's side pod and trying not to spin out. I just back out of the move completely. Going down into 8th gear, side by side with Codfield, going to try and outbrake, and going into here, there's a Force Indy that's come from absolutely nowhere alongside me, and I think that was a manner that had spun out. It might have been Boogie, I'm not quite sure. In the slipstream of Codfield, now pulling out, trying to get into the slipstream of VRL Hamilton, trying to help us pull us along. And we're going to go up the inside of Codfield, we're going to go up the inside of the Sauber as well, we're going to make contact with him. Wasn't my intention, I just wanted to get past Codfield, and in turn I ended up going past VRO Hamilton. So it hasn't been a fantastic start. We have got back into our original position, and as we can see, that's Dominator and OMG It's Joe going out for a spin, saying hello to the Mercedes fans, as Dominator is in a Mercedes as well. So that can't have been very good for them. As you can see, fastest middle sector as well. So despite having to overtake 2 cars, and Langman and RBZ being in front of us, we have set the fastest middle sector. I know you're probably going to be thinking, oh, but that's just saying that. They'll say that for everybody, but I'm pretty sure once you go through that lot, because the leaders would have gone through there first, and then I've gone after it, they would have had the fastest, and then I've taken it. As you can see, as they're coming across the line, I've still got a purple final sector as well. So we have to make a move as we are on the super soft tyres, and the guys in front, or at least RBZ, he's on the mediums, and Langman is on the softs, and I'm on the supers. So I am on the faster tyres, so I have to take advantage of this, and very much just absolutely go hell for leather. These are my first laps as well with Germany in the dry, so I'm having to try and get back used to the racing lines, braking points, quick shifting in the dry as well. Just trying to get used to everything, and then at the same time trying to be quick enough to catch the guys in front. As you can see, they're battling RBZ on the outside, and Langman on the inside going for a move in the Mercedes grandstand. RBZ then having the inside line, but Langman hanging around the outside and actually making the move stick, which is a good move from him. Into the stadium section, as we are still in 3rd place. We've very much closed in here on the back of RBZ, who gets a little bit of a squirm on. As we can see, going into the penultimate corner. This might be the last corner, I don't know. It might count as the full last corner. A slight corner cut there from us. Getting up all onto the curb. Completing lap 3, we set the fastest lap of the race. Not really a surprise as we are on the super softs. Going on to lap 3 now. As you can see, we're still on the back of these two. We couldn't make a move on the back straight on RBZ or Langman, as RBZ has gotten himself back into the lead in front of Langman. But we're going to get onto the curb. We were in 4th gear and we've gone into the gravel traps. That has lost us a shitload of time. Now we've got gravel all over our tyres. Now I can only put that down to just complete nerves. Like, I was still very much tensed up, very worried as well about just making mistakes, and I made a very, very crucial one at that. Now we have to try and regain all that ground back. Trying to be as quick as possible. As you can see, I've made a mistake again. The car oversteered, and because I'm on a pad, there was no chance I could save that. And as you can see, we're just going everywhere. Because I was on a pad, there was no way I could have controlled that unless I just completely lift off the throttle and then maybe anti-rotate the steering wheel. As we see, Buggy going out very wide there. But you know, I can only blame that on just nerves, really, because I was just so worried about, you know, just lag and all these different scenarios like what's going to happen, and I just completely bottled it. You know, Cyril Bottleberg coming back at it, just with the complete choke of the century, 2 chokes of the century in the space of about half a lap. Now we dropped from 3rd to 8th, and this just had not gone well. As we can see, there's the Force India who's just in front of these 2 Manners. We're all over the back of Buggy, who's on the mediums as well. Remember that Buggy's on the mediums for a little bit later. As you can see, his teammate is just in front. I can't see what your name is, I'm so sorry. Can I read that there? Is it Division? I'm sorry, I just can't read it because, you know, my screen is just that small. Buggy trying to have a look on the inside of his teammate. We have got OMG, it's Joe right behind us, and remember, he had a spin, so he's had a decent recovery drive as well. As you can see, the 2 Manners going side by side. Buggy trying to go up the inside of his teammate. We're going to go past him. We're going to get in the switch from a Buggy. We're going to tap his rear end. We're lucky not to get front wing damage. We're going to go around the outside of him. Try not to go off the track as we try and recover. Getting a good run. Joe goes past that other Manor as well. We're on the outside of Buggy going into this flat-out right-hander. Hanging around his outside, up the inside now into the Mercedes Stadium section. Well, it's not a stadium section, but we push out Buggy as well, just to secure 6th place. So we've made 2 moves in the space of half a lap, which is pretty decent. Perhaps not the cleanest of move there on Buggy, but to me, I think it was hard but fair, I think. And that is Dominator, actually. So was it a Force India? I can't really tell. I think he might have been in a Force India. I think he's in a Mercedes. I really don't know. It's just my bad because I just can't see, really. Plus my eye is completely fucked. As you see, going into turn 1 now. Joe right behind us. We brake during turn 1. I don't know why. And Joe hit the back of us and he went for a bit of a spin. Now that was completely my fault. Again, I can only put that down to just complete nerves, because you don't brake for turn 1. You just quickly downshift, maybe a slight lift as well. As you can see, look, I was hard on the brakes, I'm still braking, and then I'm putting the power back on. Joe just hit the back of me. Nothing he could have done there. There was a lot more that I could have done. I could have just not have been a complete spaz. So that was completely my fault. So Joe, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. We are pitting at the end of this lap on lap 6 to go onto the medium tyres, as we are right behind VRL Hamilton 44. 2.1 second pit stop, pretty decent stop, as we also jump Hamilton in the pit lane. Coming out of the pits now, I think he's might have just lagged back there, so maybe his pit stop was a bit slower, I don't know. Coming out in front of a super soft runner. Again, I can't see what your name is, but I know that Bianchi is ahead of us. I think he might have a moment after this corner. I'm not sure. At least there were yellow flags that come out at some stage, I don't know. Coming into the hairpin now. So basically now we've just got to make up for lost time after that complete choke as we jump into lap 21. As you can see, Boogie is in front of us. Our tyres are completely shot. And Boogie's on that same set of medium tyres that he was on at the start of the race. So he's taken those tyres 21 laps. And I pit at the end of lap 6 and my tyres are completely gone. So Boogie has played an absolute masterclass at that. Completely surprising to me. I don't know how he managed to do that. I thought he had made a pit stop, but he definitely didn't. So he was going for the almighty one stop at Germany, which I didn't think was possible. But then again, I didn't know what the strategy was, and I was doing a super soft, medium soft strategy. So now we were catching Boogie by about a second a lap, the seven laps prior to our pit stop. Until the last lap, where I realised, okay, my tyres are about to blow at this point. I've got to back off a little bit. But we were catching by over a second a lap, so we've made pretty good progress, I think. We're in P4 at the moment, with Boogie in front of us, and Jetson F1 right behind, well, I say right behind us, maybe a second and a half behind us. Another corner cut there. At first, I actually thought that this lobby was on normal corner cutting, because I'm going to be honest, I was corner cutting pretty badly at some places, turn 1 most notably, and I was getting away with it, and I was very surprised, because, you know, I thought this track was actually renowned for penalising people, but I guess not. I think there was a thing with turn 1 just not giving out penalties. I think this track you could get away with corner cuts, but I thought maybe not. As you can see, there you go, another corner cut. Now skipping on to further round, lap 23. I think that was Ted first, or Ted 1 ST. Leaving the session and retiring and leaving the session, and now the safety car is out. So that has very much helped us in any chance of maybe getting closer to Boogie, and maybe getting P2 or P1 maybe? It's just a shout. But at this point I did know that because the man in front he wasn't as quick as Self, RBZ or Langman, so I knew that, you know, at the safety car restart I had to be on the attack. I had to make a move on Boogie as soon as possible, with RBZ leading the way and Langman in second, two very quick guys, especially RBZ, the man who lives on the game. So preparing for the safety car restart, it's RBZ who's currently leading in front of Langman and Boogie and myself, Dominator and OMG. It's Joe, I think, is behind him. I might be wrong on that one. RBZ is now going for it now. Langman keeping very close behind him. Boogie not getting a great restart. We're getting a bit twitchy on the rear end. So going into turn 1, we're a little bit behind Boogie, so immediately at this point I already know, right, the race win is already gone. And so is second place, so I've just got to try and get third. Closing in on Boogie into the braking zone. Dominator with a very good recovery. Is currently in P5. Buggy doesn't get a great run out of turn 2. We got the inside on the straight. Dominator currently still behind us as we now go past Buggy with just the outright straight line speed, and that is Joe who's gone past him. He's gone past the Dominator. Now I shit my pants going into here because I see another proximity arrow coming up my arsehole. So I just turned in just to defend my position, and maybe a bit of a moving under breaker zone Max Verstappen scenario. But you know, I knew I had to just go for it if I wanted any chance to try and keep up with the front 2. I just kind of knew I wasn't going to keep up. Again, I'm kind of bringing up the same excuses just because it's so true, and if we make a mistake there. I had done no practice for this, so being in third to me was just a miracle in itself. I think I probably was in the top 4 of the fastest guys on track around here, despite the 0 amount of practice I did. OMG, it's Joe behind us now. Me and Joe seem to be very much glued together at this racetrack. You know, if you watch the CRO video here, we had although it was a bit more laggy, we had a few coming togethers here at Germany as well. As you can see, getting a bit twitchy on the rear end at turn 2, and Joe goes past. We got on the grass again, and now we are right behind, and now we're back behind Joe. At this point, I was actually not too worried about it, because I thought, okay, Joe might be quicker than us at the moment, so if I stick behind him, maybe the front 2 battle it out a bit more, Joe can pull me along. And that was the plan that I was going for. And because I know that Joe is a pretty fast driver, but I also knew that the front 2 were also very, very quick as well. And I was sort of just the toy in the middle, just not being able to do much. Not taking this game as seriously anymore. As you can see, this is just the example that I wasn't going to go past Joe. As you can see, we are a little bit behind anyway in Rich Mix. As you can see, closing and closing up on to the back of Joe, but as you'll see, I do just brake a bit earlier so I don't go past him. Joe does go wide though. I have a look up his inside, not trying to go past him, but he did leave the door quite wide open. As you can see, skipping on to lap 31, it is a bit clear that we weren't going to catch the front 2 anymore, so I went for the move on Joe, just to try and capitalise on P3. Joe again up our inside now into the hairpin. We're going to hold it around the outside. I think there might have been a bit of contact there. I think that little bit of weave was just to say, like, maybe sorry or whatever. But, you know, nice pad. I couldn't exactly do much at high speed. Now cutting on to a little later on into lap 31 out of the last corner. Joe's still very much on the back of our speed, trying to break the slipstream going into turn 1, although it's basically no use. And Joe very quick through turn 1. Don't know how, but especially his inside corner cut as well. But you know, maybe just being more suited to the game, I guess. Trying to get a good run out of turn 2, maybe not spin up the rears on the exit as well, holding the racing line, going into the hairpin again. But Joe, the slipstreams and DRS is just OP at this track. Joe fires it back down our inside. We try and hang it around his outside, maybe get a cutback, but Joe very nicely parks it on the apex of the hairpin with no way for me to get back past. So it's going to have to be on lap 33 where you have to make the move again, but that would give Joe the advantage going into lap 34, and he'll know that if I was to go past on lap 33, he would then be in the box seat to try and get back past me in the same place. Going into the fast right-hander, as you can see, he went a little bit wide. I wasn't planning to go for a move there anyway, trying not to create another CRL scenario where that's where we had our crash and Joe went flying into the wall in the battle for P2, I think. P2 or P3, I can't quite remember. As you can see, skipping up to lap 33, like I said, we were in the pound seat to try and get back into P3, but then he would be in our same position the next lap. I was getting a little bit squirmy there, I'm not quite sure why. Getting very close to Joe, leaving him a lot of space because I thought he was a lot close. He was like pushing me out wide a bit. Thinking that Joe was going to go for the inside, I just turned in quite early for the hairpin. But we keep P3 for the moment, and now I just know I just need to go for it now, because he's going to be right on the back of us going into this straight, and I knew I just had to completely go for it. He has a bit of a moment on the exit there, so I think here we could be pretty safe. But right about here, I have a notification come onto my screen, so I can't see the proximity arrow coming towards me. I think I brake a little bit early. Joe slams it down the inside of us, and that is literally how to perfect the cutback, really. Not know where the car behind is, and just turn in anyway. I think Joe might have just... a very, very desperate lunge from Joe at the end anyway. As we just about managed to hang on to P3. And we were going to hang on to P3, because unless I made another lap 3 bottle coming in the final sector. RBZ's currently leading the way, although he will not win the race because he has 6 seconds worth of penalties. And Langman doesn't have any penalties. So across the line, RBZ will cross the line first, but he will drop down into second. But we will come across the line for P3. Very much a surprise result there, at least for me. I didn't think I'd get P3, I was hoping for top 5. But, you know, maybe just not getting the penalty was probably what helped us as well. Langman getting the first position in front of RBZ and myself. OMG, it's Joe with 2 seconds, with 2 penalties. And of Buggy, Codfield, VRO Bianchi, Dominator, VRO Hamilton, and Division. And Carlos Sainz, worldy P11 there from him. I was pretty chuffed with that. I didn't think much coming into this race, at least, but you know, we've come out of it with a pretty decent result. Next up will be the Belgian Grand Prix, which I have done practice for, so that should be a pretty good race, and that's when my new internet should have arrived as well. So anyway guys, if you enjoyed, like the video, subscribe if you are new here, leave your comment on your thoughts about at least maybe my return to league racing as well, or just your thoughts on this race as well. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram as well, because I have that now. And that's basically it from me guys, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers. This shit. To the fire, but it's no use, cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light